Hey everyone, if you were alive in the mid-90s, you couldn't escape Jim Carrey. The man was a human cheat code for the box office, and 1994 was peak Carrey mania, with Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, and of course, The Mask. Naturally, Hollywood wanted to turn that green-faced, cartoonish chaos into cash, so they commissioned a video game for the Super Nintendo. But here's the weird part. By the time The Mask actually released on the SNES, it was late 1995. The movie had been out of theaters for over a year, the hype train had left the station, and the industry was already drooling over 3D graphics on the upcoming PlayStation. It quietly came, it quietly went, and for a long time it was just another rental memory. But looking back at it now from 2026, when licensed games are mostly loaded with microtransactions or ballooned into these massive open-world sagas, this quirky little 16-bit platformer feels like a fascinating time capsule. Is it some kind of lost classic? Well, let's dive in and see. And look, the first thing that hits you, and Black Pearl Software deserves serious credit for this, is the animation. There's no intro, no story, nothing telling you who Stanley Ipkiss is or why he has this magical, reality-warping mask. The game just dumps you in Stanley's apartment and says, figure it out and stay alive. When you look at his moveset, it's honestly kind of impressive for a 1995 platformer. You aren't just jumping on heads, you have a massive arsenal of abilities tied to your power meter. You can do the iconic blurry tornado spins to shred enemies, whip out absurdly oversized mallets to smash through weak floors, or just pull out two massive shotguns and obliterate everything on screen. Oh, and if you want to avoid a fight, you can literally tiptoe in stealth mode to sneak past danger. There's a genuinely dynamic rhythm to the combat once you get the hang of it. But here is where the 90s game design jank starts to creep in. Despite being a literal god mode cartoon character who can bounce back from falling off a literal high-rise skyscraper without a scratch, Stanley is surprisingly fragile. You will routinely have your health bar completely erased by things like waking alarm clocks, stray alley cats, or flying bags of garbage. Let that sink in. A hail of bullets? No problem. A grumpy cat? Instant death. The difficulty curve is also all over the place. There are no continues. If you run out of lives, you're going straight back to the title screen. And the level design doesn't help. Instead of tight linear platforming, the developers went with these massive convoluted mazes. Every stage, whether it's the streets of Edge City or the jailhouse, is filled with secret paths and hidden walls. And then there is level 6, the dreaded, legally mandated 90s video game sewer level. I don't know what it was about developers in that era thinking kids just loved hanging out in virtual waste pipes, but this level is a complete nightmare of wasted time and confusing turns. It stretches the game's short length by just trying to get you hopelessly lost. If you stick with it though, the boss fights are actually pretty fun reflections of the movie. You fight Stanley's angry landlady in stage 1, the corrupt auto mechanics, and eventually Dory and Tyrell at the Coco Bongo Club. When you finally win, the game rewards you with a digitized soundbite of the iconic lines from the movie. So, looking back at it today, what's the verdict on The Mask for the SNES? It's easy to write off mid-90s movie tie-ins as cheap cash grabs, because honestly, a lot of them were. But The Mask sits firmly above mediocre. It's got deep mechanical flaws, the layouts can be incredibly frustrating, and the lack of a save system hurts. But the visual charm, the responsive controls, and the sheer fun of spinning around like a maniac make it a hidden retro gem that deserved better than to be forgotten in the shadow of the 32-bit era. If you have an emulator or a retro setup handy, it's absolutely worth an hour or two of your time just to see how wild developers used to get with licensed properties. But hey, those are my thoughts. Did any of you actually play this one back in the day, or did you, like most people, miss out on it because you were saving up for a Nintendo 64 or the PS1? Drop a comment down below and let me know. If you liked the video, hit that like button, it really helps us out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.